Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, for engaging. We greatly appreciate it. I have with me today two incredible people, two amazing guests. Before I introduce them, what I want to tell you up front is that the theme for this podcast is the heart of a ninja. These two people both have the heart of a ninja. It's my pleasure to introduce both of them to you. We're going to start with John Newman. John is a ninja in Greensboro, North Carolina. John, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Eric. Very happy to be here.
Well, it is our pleasure to have you here. Also with us today is someone who's been with us before, and it is ninja coach Tracy Peterson-Nienaber. Tracy, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Tracy Peterson-Nienaber. I'm a leadership certified coach, and I live in the Bay Area in California.
All right, fantastic. Now, Tracy, this is especially good to have John here today. And John, we're especially grateful because you right now, you're in the Dominican Republic. You're there for a special reason. Tell us what that reason is. What's happening tomorrow?
Well, I have my baby girl getting married tomorrow. This is out of my three children. This is my first to get married. And it's very, I would say, it's a blessing. It's a little, I'm happy and I'm very sad at the same time.
Yes.
Overall, it's great to be in a beautiful country, celebrating a beautiful occasion.
Yes. Well, we're just so grateful that you would take time out of this very special time with your family to be here with us. I have two teenage girls. Fast forward a few years, I'll probably be where you are, John. I'll be reaching out for advice. I can't imagine how I'm going to be feeling in that moment. So can't imagine how you're feeling now. Again, we're really grateful. Tracy, you've been talking to me about John, about having him on the podcast. Tell us up front to kind of paint the picture. Tell us some reasons why you're excited to have John on the podcast.
Yes, I've talked to you for a while, Eric, that we need to get John Newman here from Greensboro, North Carolina. We need to get him on the podcast because he has the biggest heart I think I've ever seen, heart of a ninja. He runs this fantastic business, again, in Greensboro, North Carolina, and doing some absolutely incredible things with his team there. Been coaching with me since about July 2023. And what I'll say is that John is always this breath of fresh air on every single coaching call that I have with him. He is always in this high positive mindset. And I just really, really wanted him to share his heart with everybody, his philosophy on his team, and especially his infectious laugh that I look forward to every single time.
That sounds good. How does that sound to you, John?
Well, that sounds
all right. Okay, good. Someone told me once that more things are caught than taught. And so I'm wondering if Tracy, we're going to catch John's high positive mindset, and everyone listening will catch that. I hope so. John, why don't we start with you just sharing a little bit about you and your team. You're with Alan Tate Real Estate, terrific company. But tell us about that area that you serve. Tell us a little bit about your team, about how many clients maybe you helped last year, things like that, so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay. Oh, great. So I've actually been licensed for 37 years, and mainly I serve what we call the Triad area, which is Greensboro, High Point, and Winston-Salem, and also some of the surrounding counties, Guilford, Randolph, Davidson, Alamance. And we have, I started this journey, and one of the things I do want to say is that I started with a very small company. I worked for a medium-sized company, had my own company, and worked for a couple of large franchise-type companies. So I have a little bit different perspective on the real estate industry because I can see it from a lot of different angles. Last year was a little bit slower year, but it was still a very good year. And I closed 44 transactions, a little over 11.5 million in production. And a lot of the people I service are first-time home buyers and a lot of investors. A lot of people that I've already sold homes to now are getting into, buying and flipping homes. So one of the biggest and profitable things for that particular business, I'm working with people I already know. I'm able to help them achieve their individual and family goals, which is always really good. And as far as the team-wise, last year, the team had 6 closings outside of myself, a little over 1.3 million in production. The average sales price for our area is about $330,000 per, it's about the average sales price. And our average sales price as a team last year was $253,000. And again, as I was saying, we service a lot of first-time home buyers and a lot of investors. So, it's a very rewarding field, very rewarding demographic to serve. The thing I would say is that it's becoming a little bit more challenging with the price of houses. And also with, interest rates, they're coming down a little bit, but the prices of homes are not. So we have to, a lot of time, work with a lot of different programs to get people in. But I said, it's very rewarding.
Yes, absolutely. It makes our services even more valuable, right? When we can introduce people to these kind of programs and help them out. You work with a lot of first-time buyers. I smiled, John, when you said that it was a slower year and you helped 44 people, you said. So that's, I know lots and lots of people would consider that not to be a slower year. So really, really productive. So congratulations on your business.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, John, what I'd love to kind of go down a little bit is tell us about your life before real estate, right? Before real estate, because I think that's super interesting. Let's just do that. Tell me a little bit about your life before real estate.
Well, I grew up playing sports all my life. My dad was he owned a construction company. So I grew up from the time 8 years old on the construction site. And one of my fondest memories is I remember seeing these guys drive around in these Mercedes Benz and nice jackets, nice suits. And I'm like, wow. And I'm sitting there playing on the sand pile. I'm thinking, I think I'd rather do that part of the business versus what I'm doing now. But I do really enjoy those memories working with my dad on the construction sites, because a lot of the information I use today and a lot of those relationships help me, honestly, in real estate. But I grew up, playing high school football and basketball. And honestly, that's where I really saw the team concept. I played for 2 Hall of Fame coaches. I played for several guys on my team that, played in the NFL and played in the NBA. And so I really understand team concepts because when a team wins, everyone wins. So I've also played Division I basketball in college and really enjoyed that process. So again, my takeaway has always been, team first, and your team is only as good as your weakest member. That's always really been my mindset from day one. And honestly, my mindset and my goal is I want each of my team members to be a better agent than me. That is what I would consider a success for me. If I have 5 agents, doing $15, $20 million a year, that would be a tremendous blessing for me. And I would consider myself have been successful if I can do that. Another thing that is really changed when it comes to team that I really like to share, I'm big into sports, and my son played college basketball at a very high level, even though I'm still a better player than him. And he's actually currently playing in Belgium professionally right now. But I still tell everyone I'm still the best player in our household. So just so that we make sure that's clear with anyone. But one of the things that I found ironic going on, and a lot of people may have heard of the transfer portal, which is happening in college sports right now. So everybody gets used to a certain person scoring the points, And next year, instead of playing for their university, he's playing with another university. And it changes. 3 years ago, you couldn't change universities without sitting out. Now you can change. It's unlimited as long as you have eligibility. And I want to kind of correlate that with real estate now and with my team specifically, because most of my team members are new in real estate, 2 or 3 years, but really have not had a lot of, training and have not had a lot of transactions under their belt. So we're really starting from scratch. And what's even more ironic is because of all the NAR rule changes, all the things that we're going through in the industry, every 6 months, we're having to pretty much get retrained.
Yeah.
Because it's a new set of rules. And it's just like a lot of college coaches now. You have your team set, and all of a sudden you got to train them again on a whole nother set of rules. And the most important thing is the mindset. The mindset is different. And believe it or not, it's really hard for me because of been in the business 37 years. I have to be mindful of, John, just because you guys, we did it that way 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that doesn't mean that it's right. So it's a blessing for me to work with a lot of great agents in my company as a whole, and to work with these my team members that inspire me really more than I probably inspire them.
John, we said at the beginning the theme will be Heart of a Ninja. You clearly have that, and your heart is really focused on other people. I can tell you love to give back to your team and build up your team. You'd rather see them be even more successful than you, and you clearly love taking care of your clients. One thing I have to ask real quick, John, I'm sure we have some sports fans listening. What college did you attend?
I attended James Madison University.
James Madison. Okay, got it. I'm sure that's a question that some people had. Some people had out there. Yeah.
One fun fact: at one time, the one player who had the most Super Bowl rings went to James Madison. It was a guy by the name of Charles Haley, who played for the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. But I think Tom Brady probably owned that.
I think he does.
That now. But
yeah.
Outside of Tom Brady and some Patriots, Charles Haley had the most Super Bowl rings by one individual at one time.
Got it. Yeah. Fun fact about James Madison. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Tracy, with your next question.
So, John, what I'd love to do is I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your team, like how many people on your team. And you always say to me in our coaching calls, and I love that you say this, is that everyone brings a specialty or a secret sauce to the team. And I love that mindset about your team members. And I'd love for you to kind of tell us about your team members and what's their secret sauce.
Well, I absolutely believe that. Because if everyone is the same, someone is unnecessary. Y'all probably heard that on a couple other podcasts before. But being on the team, I understand that if I'm a good 3-point shooter, I need someone who can rebound, someone who can defend, someone who can create. And one of the things I love about the team is that we have 4 other team members. And one of my team members that I recruited first is a young lady by the name of Tanya Graham. And Tanya is an unbelievable person. I mean, she has a story that's just mind-boggling, just knowing how she was able to overcome a lot of stuff in her personal life. But when I first met her at the company, I have a tendency to pick on the young agents just to kind of make sure they feel welcome in a large company and let them have a place that you kind of joke and make it kind of light for them. So when I first met Tanya and started talking to her, I instantly knew she was different. She was very determined, great wife, great mother, and very determined. And I had one conversation with her and I could tell, but one of the things that was really unique, we were at a company function and I met her husband. And I was talking with him a little bit about Tanya, and what are the things she wanted, she likes to do, what was she good at. And after talking to the family, I knew right then. And I told him, she's going to be great. She's going to be a great agent. And she is. She finishes my sentences. Sometimes I'm all over the place and she fills in the gaps. And that's one of the amazing things about Tanya. And she is great with paperwork, which is not exactly my strength, I would say. She's really good and she really is the glue to the team. She's really the glue. And then we have Jonathan, Jonathan is again, a great family man, college football player. And he's part-time, but he learns and picks up things very quickly. And he's always willing to help. If I'm unable to show a property, he steps right in. If his schedule is available and shows them. Always have a great attitude and always brings something to whatever we're doing. He has very good insight and he picks up concepts very quickly. The next team member we have is Dwight Parker, and Dwight is actually a retired Navy veteran. Dwight is very analytical. I have to get him to talk a little bit more. Very smart, knows how to figure things out. He's kind of an IT person. So he does all of our technical and it's really transforming our social media part of our business. And Dwight is new, but he's always willing and eager to learn. So he's just, again, an amazing individual and all respect to veterans who served this country. And he continues to do that in his real estate business. And then our last member who just joined is Naima Harrison. And she has the best personality of anyone I ever met. She is incredible. She's a very left-brain thinker. We were the first time we were really talking about business, and she's a chef by profession. So she's a young person, but she's a professional chef. And we were talking about real estate. I was like, why don't you gear real estate toward cooking? 2 days later, she sends me this video of her explaining buyer agency while she was cooking. And I was like, that is great. I mean, I'm like, sometimes I have an idea. It might take me a month to implement it. Versus she had an idea and she also, believe it or not, knocks on doors. She cold calls. She just has that spirit and she has never met a stranger. So that is my team. And that's why I am excited to go to work every day.
John, what's coming up for me is that you have this great variety of skill sets and personalities, but everyone has the same values. And that I think is a takeaway for anyone who's building a team now, considering building a team. How should I do it? Who should I hire? You know what? It starts with getting people with you that have the same values as you, so you can always be grounded in that. That's how you build a great culture. And then get a variety of skill sets. Go find people that are good at things that you're not good at. That's you even admitted that, John. You're transparent about that. And so that's the formula. That's the winning formula to build a team. And you know all about that, given your athletic background. And that's how great teams are built. You don't need 5 centers on the team, right? You don't need 5 point guards. You need each position, but everyone's got to be aligned in what they believe in.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key.
Yeah.
So do you mind if we shift gears for a moment, everyone? That what I'm thinking is, John, I'd love for you to kind of share with everyone about the handwritten note and the real estate review event that you're doing with your team. Do you mind sharing that with everyone?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that Tracy and I had talked about doing to continue to build camaraderie within the team, also do something that's fun and do something that's going to keep people, motivated and kind of keep people together and on one accord. So we actually did an event. It was one morning, actually, at 8:30 in the morning, and we had a basically handwritten note party. I went and got balloons. We had food. We was playing 1970 disco music. So, and I'm by far, I think I'm like 15 years older than the youngest person. So I'm kind of a grandfather compared to most of them. And we just had a ball. The rules were you needed to bring in at least, 5 to 10 names of people who you just wanted to thank or write them a note. It did not have to be a client, but just someone that was in your database or someone that you just wanted to connect with. And so that was really the only criteria we had. We provided, the company provided the notes, the cards. I provided the stamps and, the food and everything. And it was unbelievable. I don't think I ever had as much fun writing. Well, I like writing hand notes anyway, but it was really a great event. So we are doing the handwritten notes once a month. And then we're also working on the real estate reviews. This has been a little bit challenging again because it's kind of hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And I'm trying to get out of the CMA mindset into the real estate review. But after all the great information we get from Ninja about it, it's really helped me to do that process and just make another connection with our clients and most importantly, create value. So that was our next scheduled event. But unfortunately, we had to put in front of that an event talking about forms because in our state, we just had a whole new list of forms. So instead of doing the real estate reviews, this past training session, we went over the new form changes and how we did it. I kind of gave him a quiz to start. So I had 10 questions about the test, about the new forms, and they had to answer the questions first. And then I gave them the forms, and then we talked our way through it, discussed it, to try to get them to understand why the changes and, how do you convey that information to your seller or to your buyer. So again, another very in-depth conversation with that. And we also talking about commissions in our area. How do you convey the new changes? So we've had some great events, very fun, just add some fun with the education. And I think everyone is really benefiting from it. And because of these events, they're coming to our office meetings more and coming into the office more. And so again, that just builds more camaraderie and just more synergy. And I think it's a fun atmosphere to work in.
Boy, it sounds like it, John. Yep. Absolutely. In Ninja, we talk about mixing art and science. Mostly we talk about that when it comes to being in flow with our clients. You want to have both art and science, but you're doing it with your team meetings. Sometimes you need to have the science meeting about forms, but then sometimes you're going to make it more an art meeting and have fun with writing handwritten notes. And so you make it a collaborative community team event. It's fun. It's a celebration. It's a challenge. And meanwhile, you're doing a really important activity to build your business, but you're making it fun. I think anyone could learn from that. Anyone could apply that, whether you have a team or not. You could put together a team of your colleagues and go have a handwritten note party, right? I think anyone could do that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So has everyone on your team been to the Ninja installation?
So actually, I'm the only one that actually has went to a Ninja installation. Now, our company is a Ninja company, and so our company do support Ninja, shows a lot of videos, and they hear a lot of the lingo or jargon from Ninja, but they have not actually went through the training. But I have been able to just share a lot of the concepts, and I talk Ninja all the time.
Yeah.
And, so they definitely are aware, but they have not went through the training.
They are immersed in it. Getting to know you and knowing your company. That is a Ninja place. You are a Ninja person, so I can only imagine how they're learning it. And we look forward to them one day being at an installation. John, where do you see things going from here? What are some visions and goals you have, plans you have for you and your team, for your business?
Well, I think based on what I'm seeing in our market and our team members' individual goals, I definitely see about a 20% growth by the end of the year based on the production this past year. And also then I see 2 years about a 25% growth. And I'm basing all that just on just putting in the work. Our market, where we live at, it's a lot of new companies moving in. But again, just like other parts of the country, we do have supply, a little bit of a shortage, but the biggest thing is there's still a lot of people who want homes. We just have to continue to find out ways to get them into homes.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key going forward with all of us. And I definitely feel strongly that we've had several other meetings with banks who offer special financing and special programs. So with all that, I definitely feel 20% growth in this year from last year with the team.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Amazing.
Hey, John, one thing I'm curious about, what was on your mind when you reached out and said that you wanted to coach? What were you thinking about when, in terms of how a coach might help you, and how has that gone for you? And gosh, you're an athlete. You've had a coach for a lot of your life, and so tell me more about that.
Well, it's just like, I can go to the gym and lift weights, but when I go to the gym and lift weights for someone else, I have a tendency to be able to lift a little bit more and do a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I want someone that has a bigger perspective of things than I do, and someone who can help me continue to grow. Because I think even though agents have experience is good, but sometimes it can limit you because you think just because you've done it that way, you think that's the only way to do it. With definitely all the changes, we cannot do business the way we used to do business, and we cannot have the same mindset. So that was one of the reasons I definitely wanted to coach. I definitely wanted a certain type of coach. So I actually looked on the website, read the bios, listened to them, and then when I heard Tracy, I was like, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one that's continue to push me.
Right. Oh, that's so good to hear. That's so good to hear. Okay, so Tracy, question for you: What have you noticed in John's business since you started working with him? What are some things he's been able to get installed into his business? What are the things that make you really proud as a coach, as you've watched John here as your coaching client?
Yeah, good question, Eric. Is that I would say, when John and I first started coaching together, I knew he had the heart of gold. He had the heart of a ninja, and he poured that so much into his clients, and that's why he's closing 44 transactions individually. Is that he just is so heartfelt with his clients, but he's really transferred that even more over to his team, and it really included that. His heart has grown in that sense, that now his team is even in his heart there. What he says to me often, and I love it, is he says, John told me, and I wrote it down. John told me he said, my mindset is that I want my people to outgrow the team. If they do that, that means I've been a great leader. And that's such an abundance mindset when you are in a leadership position over a team, or you're an owner, that you want people to grow so much that they outgrow your team, because what that means is that you are giving them so much value. You're giving your team so much value. And I feel like John has just grown exponentially with that. And then having these events, handwritten note parties, or events, we call them parties, that where he's bringing in balloons and food and stuff. He's creating this amazing vibe for his team, which his team is not going to leave him. He's amazing. So he's creating so much value that the team is just giving him back as much as he's giving them.
Yes, that's amazing. It's an amazing team that you've built, John. We're celebrating that.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. And I learn and grow every day from him. And I look forward to talking to him every day. Yeah,
absolutely. They can teach us so much, the people on our teams. Well, this has all been great. This has all been just fantastic. John, we are so grateful that you joined us here today on this podcast. You gave us a lot of takeaways. We're wishing you the best for you and your daughter, your whole family tomorrow. That's a big day. We can't wait to hear about it.
All right. Well, I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to it. And again, it's another grower. It's, we want to teach our kids to leave the nest and give back in the community and be a blessing to someone. And my daughter is. So even though it's a little bittersweet, You know?
Mhm.
It's a good thing, and I'm very thankful for it. Very thankful.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And Tracy, thank you for being with us here today and for encouraging us to have John on the podcast. That was a terrific idea that you had to have him on.
You are so welcome, John. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and also just what an excellent leader you are. You're amazing.
Well, all right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. And hey, John, let's be clear one more time, just as everyone's listening, you are the best athlete in the house.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Without any doubt.
Well, make sure that your son listens to the podcast too. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you again, John and Tracy, for being our guests today. Ninja Nation, we appreciate you. We appreciate how engaged you are with the podcast. Keep the feedback coming. Thoughts, ideas for other topics you want us to cover and talk about, people that you would like us to interview. We are open-minded to all of that. And we're, again, grateful for you. Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. In the meantime, take care. Bye.